The world had grown heavy with injustice. Cities were loud, but hearts were empty. Wealth increased, but peace disappeared. People lied without shame. Oppression became normal, and truth felt lonely. Wars left lands broken, families divided, and fear lived inside homes. It was a time when believers felt weak, when holding on to faith felt like holding on to fire. Many would look at the sky and whisper, "Oh Allah, send help." According to Islamic tradition, in such a dark period, Allah would not leave the ummah without guidance. A man would be chosen not because he chased power, but because Allah selected him. His name would be Muhammad, son of Abdullah. He would be from the family of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from the noble lineage of Fatima Arra. He would not arrive like a king with an army, but like a humble servant of Allah, unknown to many at first. Imam Mahdi would grow up like an ordinary person, living among people, seeing their pain, feeling the corruption around him. He would not initially seek leadership. In fact, narrations mention that he would not even consider himself worthy of such a role. But Allah's plan moves in ways people do not see. When the world's dhulam reaches its peak, believers would search for a leader who stands for truth, someone who fears Allah more than he fears the world. In Makkah, near the Kaaba, a small group of righteous believers would recognize the signs. They would approach him and urge him to accept leadership. At first, he would hesitate, overwhelmed by the responsibility. But eventually, he would accept, not for status, but to serve Allah's religion. This moment would mark the beginning of a major change in human history. He would descend near Damascus, supported by angels. His return would not be to bring a new religion, but to support the truth of Islam. When the time for prayer comes, Isa would pray behind Imam Mahdi, showing unity and confirming the final message of Prophet Muhammad. Together, the believers would face Dajjal. Eventually, Isa would defeat him, ending the greatest trial humanity had faced. After this, a period of peace would come. The earth would change. Blessings would increase. Crops would grow in abundance. Wealth would be so common that people would struggle to find someone to accept charity. Animals would live peacefully. Hatred would decrease. It would be a time people would later wish they had witnessed. Imam Mahdi's era would remind humanity what justice looks like when guided by revelation. Leadership would be a trust, not a privilege. Power would be responsibility, not pride. The world would see that real success lies not in domination, but in obedience to Allah. But even this beautiful time would not last forever. It would be part of the final chapters of the world's story. Other signs of Qayamat would follow, reminding everyone that this life is temporary. The message behind Imam Mahdi's arrival would not just be about future events, it would be a lesson for every generation. When darkness increases, hope in Allah should increase even more. The story of Imam Mahdi is not meant to create fear alone. It brings hope. It tells believers that no matter how bad the world becomes, Allah's help is near. Oppression has an end. Lies have an end. Tyrants have an end. Truth remains. For a believer reading this today, the lesson is clear. We may not know when these events will happen, but we know how to prepare. Strengthen faith. Hold on to prayer. Stay truthful. Avoid injustice. Raise children with Islamic values. Because when great trials come, only strong faith will protect hearts. The coming of Imam Mahdi is a reminder that history is moving toward a divine plan. Nothing is random. Every dhulm seen today is recorded. Every tear of a believer is seen by Allah. And at the right time, justice will rise again, led by a man chosen not for his power, but for his sincerity. Until that day, believers continue their journey, carrying hope in their chests, whispering in their prayers, "O Allah, keep us on the straight path and make us among those who stand with truth."